What's good, Alex?
Hey, Sena, how you doing?
Doing okay. Doing all right. Good. Welcome, everyone, to another edition, another session of our Lawcast, your favorite Lawcast, where we talk about very interesting legal issues. We talk about the business of law. We talk about running a law firm. I am Sena.
I'm Alex.
Welcome, everyone. If you've watched the first two sessions, you'll know that we're from Radiant Law. Alex is the CEO. I'm a legal advisor. And today we have, something fun in store for you. Well, not fun, but we're going to talk briefly about the partnership structure in law firms. And I'll just pick your brain, Alex. Why are most law firms registered as partnerships instead of, companies or...
I think you used to have to be. If I remember, like in the UK, you had to be a partnership. And there were rules dating back where I think you could only have maximum 40-something, 48-something partners. And I think that rule still applies in India.
Wow.
They adopted the system. Maybe they've changed it now. But it did. So there used to be a restriction and everyone was a partnership. And that was just the standard way of practicing. So, that was just common. There were certainly no corporations.
No corporations.
No.
Now, the way we set up Radiant, or the way you set up Radiant, is a company, right?
Yeah.
So a registered company, not a partnership. So I was always curious into why you didn't make it Hamilton and whatever, or Hamilton
As a name.
As a name, or even registered as a partnership, like Hamilton and
Right.
or Alex Hamilton and Sons. I don't know if your son wants to
We
be a
do
lawyer.
use my son as a programmer.
Yeah.
It was the exception to the no child labour policy. Yeah. Okay.
What was
So,
the idea behind setting it up as a company instead of as a partnership?
right. So it seemed to me that one of the biggest challenges to improving how legal services is delivered required a team to be working as a team across the firm as one way of working. And the problem with the partnership model is that it's really biased towards autonomy of partnership rather than cooperation of the lawyers. Right? So there's a way of describing how companies operate, organizations operate, which is basically a triangle that says you bias towards either autonomy, collaboration, or control.
Okay.
Right? And everyone wants to be cool and collaborative, but if you're a partnership, then what that basically says is each of the partners decide how their work gets done. Each of the partners is responsible for winning work.
Yeah.
And what we were trying to create was a new model where everyone worked in a similar way. Right? Everyone was part of improving that way of working. I think we're going to talk next time about lean and so on as an example of that. We also were going to separate sales from delivery.
Okay.
So the people doing delivery, are part of sales in the sense they're building relationships with clients and all the rest of it, but also new business and so on will be won by a sales team as opposed to delivery.
But what about firms that actually have a marketing department? So you still have
they have marketing.
structure.
Yeah, and it's like the poor sucker who sits in the corner begging people to play nice and actually do a PowerPoint or whatever. No, it's a difficult role and but this is we had truly separated delivery from sales and marketing.
Yeah.
In a corporate structure. So if you wanted to go down that route, you really needed to have a different kind of structure, and hence the company.
The company instead of a partnership.
Hence company. There are other reasons too. Partnerships are very poor investment vehicles in the sense of partnership is transparent tax, which means that the partners are all taxed on the earnings of the company, even if they haven't been drawn out of they haven't been received by the partners themselves. This is not a great structure for investing in the future. Mm-hmm. So for all of these reasons, we decided to go as a company, not a partnership.
Now, my next question, personal question. Ever since I wanted to practice as a lawyer, I probably fantasized about being a partner someday. Because I mean, it's how it's set up. It's how you rise through the ranks from candidate attorney, or how do they call it in other countries, a trainee lawyer. Yeah. And then you become an associate, junior associate, senior associate. Then you become partner, you make partner, become senior partner, equity partner. And that kind of tracks your development within the legal industry, right?
Yeah.
Because you can see that, okay, I'm progressing in this way. And some people even say targets. I want to be partner by 40. I want to be partner by 35. I want to be partner by 30. And with that comes a great deal of satisfaction. So now coming into practicing law at Radiant, how then do you then keep a guy like me motivated if I've spent the last 4 years in law school and then 2 years as a candidate attorney and then another year working wherever, and then I come in and say, well, no, Sena, you won't be a partner.
Yeah.
how do you then keep up that sort of career development or keep people assured that they're actually progressing within the legal industry?
I'm going to ask this back to you in a second. But it's difficult for us. And I think it's particularly difficult here in South Africa.
Because and South Africa is very traditional, right?
It's also very hierarchical.
It is very hierarchical.
People
very
like the hierarchies here, right?
It's hierarchical.
Super hierarchical. So
structured.
we talked about before, like, be free and we're running a flat organization, right? And then everyone's going, yeah, that's great. But can you tell me what my career progression is exactly, right? To the minute.
That whole thing.
And so on. And also how we express it to the world, right? So it's a real challenge. And, we have people coming through. So like Ian, for example, joined as an associate and now runs South Africa and delivery. So it's kind of head of. I guess you get to a board is one thing, but we're not going to run a board with 1 million people on it.
Obviously,
we actually run it.
Reason.
Yeah, we run it like a company. So you have representatives of marketing, sales, delivery, finance, technology potentially, but that's kind of the board, and then non-exec members. So we can create titles.
Yeah,
we haven't really.
What's the point of a title? I mean,
well, but it comes up as a topic, right? I mean, very legitimate point you're raising. I've had other people go, I don't like watching my friends, on LinkedIn, my former friends perhaps,
or like
progressing and like being
guys
judged.
who started, candidate attorneyship with, or guys who started training with, and they're going up and they're making partner, they're making associate. From a lawyer reward sort of point of view, and you want to track your career. I don't know why you want to track, but for some reason there is that self-actualization that comes with, oh yeah, I'm here now, I'm an associate. And it's always cool to introduce yourself to someone. Oh, what you do? See a girl at the bar. What's your name? I'm Sena. Who are you? I'm a partner at XYZ.
So the funny thing is these titles are free, pretty much. You have to be kind of careful about a few like partner.
I mean, there's social capital.
Yeah.
In it.
So what would you like to be called?
I don't know.
You could be like Grand Meister of.
I'm quite liking this whole thing of being called the talent.
The talent?
The talented radiant.
Oh, you'll always be the talent. So.
Always be the talent.
Why didn't you come up with a title? What do you want?
I don't know. Can I come up with my own title?
Sure.
Cool. I'll get back to you by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I just need to think about it.
I mean, like I said, titles are free.
I'll put it out to the people and they can give me a title, what they want me to
Exactly. Grand Poobah. I think that would suit you.
Grand Master of Law.
Yeah.
Because they have that in chess, right?
Why not?
Grand Master.
Yeah, I think you might have to do a couple more years before you get there.
But cool. So, and
we didn't answer the question, by the way. The other question you asked, which is why is it called Radiant, not Alex Hamilton?
Yeah, why not called Alex Hamilton and Partners?
Because we were trying to signal that we were different. Okay. So in fact, to be truthful, we kind of, as a matter of principle, did everything differently.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I think we kind of swung back on some of the issues and kind of came back to more mainstream approaches, but there was a certain kind of two fingers to the world that was going on at that point of creation. Anyway, the point was the name had to be different to signal that we were different.
Okay.
So I opened the question up to the group of us who formed the firm of what the topic would be, what to call us.
Yeah.
On the basis it wouldn't be named after our names. So if it's not that, then what? And interestingly, there was probably about 10 times as much discussion about the name as there was about the business plan.
Really?
Yeah. This is a very common phenomenon in business.
Why is it so hard to come up with a name?
Because it's called a bike shedding problem, which means there's a business story about the nuclear power station, the bike shed getting approval, and everyone just signed off the nuclear power station. It's too hard to question. But the bike shed, everyone had an opinion on, and it's a small enough topic that everyone's got an opinion on it, so it was discussed to death. Yeah, ridiculous.
So
even after I posted a link to the bike shedding problem, they just kept going.
So why the name Radiant?
I liked it. It was kind of,
like, out of all the names,
it was optimistic and positive.
Okay.
I didn't come up with it; someone else did.
Okay. So it's not your IP.
Well, the firm's got the trademark.
Cool. I had to make sure.
You'd approve of that as an IP lawyer.
Yeah, I need to go through directly and just confirm.
Okay, so that's the title. But going back to the structure and progress, there's another aspect to it, which is one of the key values of being a partner, apart from just conversations in pubs, is voting and a sense of ownership.
Okay.
And I think that's interesting. We have a different take on that. For example, we give a lot of responsibility to relatively young lawyers and people all the way through taking the lead.
Yeah.
So I think people have power and influence in different ways to just being a partner who has a vote.
And that autonomy sort of, it helps. I mean, from a very young, early stage in your career, it's the best thing you could ask for. I'm testifying here. But for the most part, I always felt that the partnership structure adds a bit of, I don't know, incentive to everyone practicing law. It makes you work harder than you know. But at times, and I'll take your point to the extent that a lot of these goals, right, some of them are unachievable for the most part.
I would guess the ratio is about 10 to 1.
That make partner.
Yeah.
And you think of it practically, and you're like, well, everyone who starts off in the legal industry kind of has dreams of going that way. But the reality is only, like you said, 1 in 10 will get there.
Like that.
So surely the system is flawed in some way.
Oh, the system's a massive scam. It's a massive scam. And the other thing is you can make good money at Radiant without being a partner per se, right? We have you get paid more next year. We've got pay rounds coming around in a second. So.
Oh yeah. We should have a quick chat about it's bonus season.
Oh yeah, and we pay our bonus. We said that. We always pay our bonus.
Yeah, we did say that.
We always pay our bonus.
But I mean, I guess for me, it all comes down to there's different ways to incentivize practicing law. There's different ways to practicing law, and I think there's different ways to achieve self-actualization, because people put that in their CVs and their motivational letters, like, what are your goals? I want to be a partner at wherever. And it doesn't help that the law is the most, how can I put it, on TV. It's the profession that appears in most TV shows. Suits, How to Get Away with Murder, all of it. And there's a certain culture there.
Right, so people expect certain things.
Yeah,
no, I mean, it's something we'll just keep working on. And I have sympathy for people who want to be a partner, because I did that. I went through the system before. I've ticked the box, so it's easy for me to say, you don't need it. But there are some truths about what it's like to be a partner. First of all, when I made partner at this big American law firm, I was a very junior partner, and I suddenly, it's like going to senior school, and suddenly you're bottom of the pile again, right? But secondly, you're kind of terrified of all the other senior partners. Right? It's actually a huge. Everyone from the outside thinks all partners are equal. It's not. It's a massive pecking order there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. It's also, you get very exposed, because although even maybe 1 in 10 or 1 in 5 you can make it to partner, as soon as you earn more money, you're actually more at risk. So you had kind of up and out before partnership, but there was a hell of a lot of up and out within the partnership. Right? Because there were a lot of people looking around going, wait a second. They haven't had a good year. Why are they around at all? Right. So as a mutual insurance policy, it's actually, I think, coming under a lot of pressure, and I think there's increased short-termism coming in. So I guess my overall argument would be that Radiant's different, but we're trying to produce a more sustainable future for everyone here. We're not running an up or out system, and you should come up with some good titles, because we can give those away for free. So Grand Poobah it is.
Good. Cool. Stay tuned. I'm going to come up with my own title, how I'll be introducing myself going forward. But that's the end. But that's the end of our session now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cool. Thank you.